So let's look at organizational behavior model, chapter 4. Organizational behavior model. Organizational behavior, our inherent power of generalization helps us to predict the behavior of other people. When you hear the word inherent, means it's more of a cognitive ability that is deposited internally. However, sometimes our generalization and prediction fails. You see now, so the outward concept of wanting to generalize, for example, human behavior, most times fail. Like in my last class, I said something about Nkechi is an Igbo lady because Igbos like money, then Nkechi like money. That is still generalization. Many times it fails. It may not apply to a particular person who belongs to a particular tribe. Yet those tribe is known for a particular thing, but it does not apply individually. But sometimes intuitive, inherent power to generalization helps. So, and when we look at, but most times it can also fail in that regard. So this happens as we fail to analyze and go into the depth of pattern that are affecting the behavior of people at a particular time or period. Organizational behavior model will help us. We have different model that helps us to predict and shape and preempt human behavior as it relates to work. So let's go ahead again. This call for understanding and following the systemic approach to the study of organizational behavior. The study helps in increasing our prediction ability to understand the behavior of people, particularly in a group or an organization, and how their behavior would impact the performance of the organization. You should know it's more like a cause and effect system. When we put this in, this is what we're going to get out. Almost all organizations develop the model on the basis of which behavior of people is determined. A model of the basis of which behavior of people is. So we're going to, in management, the focus is on study of 5 organizational behavior models. We have 5 of them. I want you guys to look at these 5, understand these 5, because there's no way you will not be writing on at least 3 of the 5 in your exam. There's no way. It's not possible that you will not have 3 of the 5. That is why attending class is very important, because when you attend class, you already know the mindset of your instructor. He's able to tell you where he's likely going to bring his question from, and it helps you to what to focus. For example, if this material is released, some of your classmates who have not come to class will read chapter 1 to chapter 19, but you know that I've only taught chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 4, and maybe chapter 6. That is going to be your focus, and you get your A, which is. So let's look at the first one. It's called autocratic model. The second one is custodian model. The third is supportive model. Number 3 is collegial model. Number last is was system model. Let's look at autocratic model. This model has its roots in the historic past and definitely become a most prominent model of the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution started in the 17th century, 1800 to 1900. You guys should know the revolution we are in now. We are in what? In the technology revolution, industrial revolution. We had the Stone Age. We had the so we had a time the industrial revolution, and this autocratic model was most prominent in that age. It gives the owner and the manager power to dictate and form decision while making employee obey the order. This is just like a military rule. But then when you hear the word autocratic means a singular form of what? Authority. One. Cratic means authority. So a singular, when one person is just like the kingship, the Oba will say you must do this, you do this. There is no, you must obey. The model asserts that employee needs to be instructed and motivated to perform while manager do all the thinking. So manager does all the thinking and tell the employee what to do. They follow. The whole process is formulate from is formalized, while the manager and the and authority power has the right to command the people. You can see. So if you go dictionary, X assumption of migratory states, employees do not take responsibility and manager have to supervise over their work to obtain desired results. That is employee. You all know the theory X and theory Y. The theory X is that workers don't want to work except they are forced supervised to work. So this is more like a model that works in line with the theory X system. So let's look at the custodian model. I want you guys don't cram, just understand. If you understand the way I explain to you, you will perform better. Now, the time came when manager began to think the security of employee is imperative. Security of employee is imperative. It could be either social as well as economic security. A time came, security of employee became imperative. Employees saw that one of the major factors of motivation is when they are secured. Security could be social, it could be economic security. Now, managers have begun to study about their employee needs. Because one of the reasons why employees feel secure is when his needs are met, not just now, even in the future. When he's sure that my needs in the future will be met. And you see that many people prefer to work with a government establishment than a private establishment, even if the pay of the private establishment is higher. Job security now. So they find out that though in an autocratic setup, employee does not talk back, yet they have many things to say, but incapable to speak, result in frustration, insecurity, and aggressive behavior towards their boss. Since they are not able to display their feeling, they would vent their feeling on their family and neighbors. They also gossip. This causes suffering to the entire community and relationship. You can see employers now have begun to think of ways to develop better relationship with employees and to keep them satisfied and motivated. Between 1890 and 1900, many companies started the welfare program for the employee, which began later to be known as paternalism. Paternalism. In 1930, the welfare program evolved in many fringe benefits to provide security to employees, which results in the development of the custodian model of organizational behavior. A successful custodian approach depends on providing economic security, which many companies are now suffering as high pay skill. So what I mean by this is this. Eventually, a custodian approach is one that gives employee the room to also suggest, to also talk back, and it also look at welfare of the employee. So let's look at the number three, supportive model. Unlike the two previous approaches, the supportive model emphasizes on motivating and aspiring leaders. There is no space for any control or authoritative power in this model or on the incentive or reward scheme, but it is simply based on motivating staff through the establishment of the manager and employee relationship and treatment that is given to the employee on daily basis. You can see the difference now. This is more like motivation and inspiring leaders, motivating them to see that they can also move in the hierarchy, giving them responsibility. Quite contrary to the autocratic mode, it states that employees are self-motivated and can generate value that goes beyond day-to-day rules or activity. But how the employee gets self-motivated, that through creating a positive workplace where they are encouraged to give their ideas and there is some kind of buy-in in the organizational behavior setting and direction. So this is a more responsible model. Employees are allowed to exercise their initiative, they are allowed to give ideas, and company also tries not to adopt to. So is it more like a supportive model? Let's look at collegial model. In this scheme, the structure of the organization is developed in a way that there is no boss, no subordinate, but all the colleagues who have to work as a team. Each one of the employees have a have a part has to participate and work in coordination with each other to achieve their targets. No one is worried about his status or a job title. Manager's role here is like a coach whose function is to guide the team to perform and generate positive and motivate work environment instead of focusing on their personal growth. The team requires adopting new approach, research and development, and new technology to better their performance. Just like a football coach. This is more like a football coach. Everybody have a role. You can see, in as much as you have a captain, but the captain is not a bossy person. The number nine, the striker works together with the defender, and everybody works to achieve a purpose like a team. So this particular model is not title driven. I'm the boss. No, the coach motivates everybody because the coach understands that if one person fails, the whole company fails. So a collegial model is a structure or a scheme that helps to motivate. The manager's role here is more like a motivator. It's more like an encourager. It's more like a coach to the team. Let's look at the system model. The system model, this is the most imagined model of today's corporate era. It's the system model. The model emerged from the rigorous research to attain the higher level of meaning at work. Higher level of meaning at work. I'm going to be explaining that. Today's employee need more than salary and security for their job. They need the hours they are putting towards the organization is giving them some value and meaning. To add to it, they need the work that is ethical, respectful, integrated with trust and integrity, and give a space to develop a community feeling among the co-worker. This is what model that banks, oil and gas, and top companies have adopted. Make everybody feel as part of the system. Some workers, I've seen a lot of people resign from their former job, not because they are not well paid, or because they say, no, I'm not getting satisfaction of this job. I'm not learning from the job. I don't feel like part of the team. This systemic model is a more systemic model that puts everybody together. It's like a system. They need the work that is ethical, respectful, integrated with trust and integrity, and give space to develop a community feeling among co-workers. This is the model of today. So I want you guys to understand that. To understand that we will not we'll be going to chapter 6 and we didn't look at chapter 4. I want you guys to know chapter 5. I want you guys to know that. So we'll be looking at chapter 6 now. Behavior in groups. Groups. The reason why this topic is very important is because of teamwork. Behavior in groups. One of when you go for any interview and you are asked a simple question, how do you work with a team? Every company of today only want to employ people who believe in teamwork because there is a little to what any can achieve. There is a very little. He said, if you want to go far, go alone. But if you want to achieve the best, go as a group. So there is a very little to what many can achieve, as in one can achieve, and more. So let's look at behavior in a group. Group behavior refers to the way people behave in large or small group situations. People join groups for a multitude of reasons, most frequently because membership satisfies a need of an individual. Group membership can provide companionship, survival, security, affiliations, status, power, control, and achievement. Many of us are part of our village club in Lagos or wherever you are. In Lagos, a lot of people want to join their village club. Why? Because they want to feel security, they want to speak their language again. If they have ceremonies, they want people to come to their ceremonies at their party from that group. You see? So many reasons why people want to form a group. But we are going to look at this from the corporate point of view. There is currently no universal description of what constitutes a group, though research has identified a few common requirements that contribute to recognition of a group. Interdependence. Individual member must depend to some degree on the output of collective member. Number one. Number two, social interaction. Accomplishing a goal requires some form of verbal and non-verbal communication amongst members. Three, perception of a group. All members of the collective must agree they are part of the group and they must respect. We all call ourselves JPTS. If there's not if there's no rule, if there's no law, if there's no constitution, if there's no procedure, if there's no policy, then there's no need for group. So we all respect. As the president of JPTS, I have my limitation. There's some things I cannot do except I also come. I also what meet with the board of the institution. There's some things the board of the institution cannot do except the input of the president. There are some things students cannot do, registrars cannot do. Because yes, we all form a group, but we all have what's controlling and a policy guideline that we all must work with. Otherwise, there's no group. Commonality of purpose. All members of collective come together to attain a common goal. Favoritism. Members of same group tend to be positive prejudiced towards other members and discriminate in their favor. Of course, in group, people will say University of Ibadan is better, University of Lagos is better, JPJ is better. It depends on the group you belong to. Every time you belong to a particular group, you favor the group. Yeah, you favor the group. If you're a member of a group, favoritism. How group influence behavior. Individual behavior and decision making can be influenced by the presence of others. There are both positive and negative implications of group influence on individual of that is why we always say this. You must belong to a group that will positively affect you. Some people are members of courts. When you join courts, you are into an evil thing. You see, in JPTS, we don't allow that. Court. If you are in a fellowship, good. You will now be drawing yourself closer to God. If you're a Muslim, you join a religious group. If you're a business person, you look for a business group because the group you are influence your behavior. Some people are in school, they were not smoking, but when immediately they got into school, they started smoking. Why? Because of peer what influence group. If you want to be great, you have to look for a group of great people and join. If you want to be a smoker, you look for a group of smokers. Before you know, you become a smoker. If you want to go into prostitution, you look for a group of prostitutes, you join them. What group are you? So anything you want to achieve in your future, look at those who are already living that. So don't say, I don't know that they are smoking, I'm not smoking. You want to smoke, that's why you're in that group. So group affects individual what? Behavior. Group affects individual. Groupthink. Groupthink is a psychological phenomenon that occurs within a group of people in which the desire for harmony or conformity in the group results in an incorrect or deviant decision-making output. It has been further defined as a mode of thinking that people engage in when they are deeply involved in cohesive group. When the members strive for unanimity, overrides their motivation to realistically appraise alternative course of action. Group members try to minimize conflict and reach a consensus decision without critical evaluation of alternative ideas or viewpoints. Several conditions must take place for groupthink to occur. The group must be isolated from outside influence. Loyalty must prevent individual from raising controversial issue of alternative solution. See, these are things that happen in different groups. Usually, decisions taken by groups is not in the ultimate favor of all. So, group thinking is when a decision is taken, and this decision is within the group. That decision, of course, might not be the best. So, it's a group thinking. And even some member of the group might not even be, just like when a particular minister, after he was no longer a minister, he was asked, do you think that when you were a minister that your president was not corrupt? He said his president was corrupt. He said, but why didn't you talk that he was corrupt? He said, I cannot talk because I was a minister. Even things might be wrong, yet it's called group thinking. You are involved in it. You can put off your mic. Your mic is on. Hello?
It's muted, sir.
Okay, I'm still talking. So, okay, you can still hear me, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let's look at friendship group. What are friendship? Okay, mute your mic. What are friendship group? Friendship group are small groups of believers who meet weekly or together in their groups and friendly with Jesus. Friendship group. Let's look at task group. Recently in JPTS we set up a what's it called? A extracurricular activities, and we ask you guys to what are we trying to achieve? Behavior, group tasks, formation of group. Yes, some of you don't want to do that program. You say, no, I don't want to do extracurricular. You are already what? See, education is not certificate alone. Some people will go through school don't go through them. Why? Because they did not involve themselves in all those extracurricular activities that really make you up. Very, very important. So you have to look at task group, formal group, informal group, effective group, psychological group, stage of group development. That is the next which we'll be talking about now. Forming, storming, numbing, performing, adjoining task activity in group, avoiding disrupting behavior in the group, decision making in the group. These are stages. I want you guys to write this down. And I'm not going to explain your assignment number one. Stage of group development. Forming, storming, numbing, performing, adjoining, task activity in a group, avoiding disruption behavior in a group, decision making in a group. I want you guys to explain it. Stage of group development. List them and explain each of them. Forming, storming, numbing, performing, adjoining, task activities in a group, avoiding disruption behavior in a group, decision making in a group. Please, this assignment, you must not share it with your friend. You must not. It's you alone. If your assignment is the same, some of you at the end of this training, some of you will score 0 in your assignment, but yet you have done it because your assignment is the same as someone else's assignment. Whether you gave it to you or you give it to him, it's 0 for all of you. So make sure that you do it yourself and send it. If you want to send anything to anybody, make sure you send the wrong answer to the other person so that the other person would. Because if the person is not serious, then send him a wrong answer. So that next time he is going to be doing it himself or herself. So please make sure that you send the right answers to me and do not share it with anybody. So let's look at chapter 7. Remember, I told you that after this class, we have one more class before your exam. So you can see the way I'm moving at a very fast speed. Leadership and type of leadership. So we've done chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 4, chapter 6, chapter 7. So we in two meetings, in 3 meetings, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters. Now we're in chapter 7 now. Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 4, chapter 6, and chapter 7. So definition of leadership. Leadership is a process by which a leader is involved in directing the activities of people, followers towards achievement of the predetermined goals. Not goods, so goals. There's some errors in this write-up. Goals. So a leader is someone. Leadership is a process that is involved in directing the activities of people. All of us are leaders. You are also a leader. That is why when we form extracurricular activity, we want one of you to become a leader. Start exhibiting your leadership traits. Today, many of you see me, Dr. Chris, as someone who has set up a business in different facets. And some people have come to wonder and say, how did it happen? It started by taking responsibility that I need to lead to. When I was in school like you, in my fellowship, I was a leader in the fellowship. Yeah, I was a leader in the fellowship. In my primary school, I was a class captain. In secondary school, I was a prefect. In the university, I was a leader. Even in the class and in the fellowship. Started like that. In my NYSC, I was a Corporal Legion officer in the whole state. I tried with accepting responsibility. If you run from responsibility, you are not ready for leadership. So don't blame anybody if you are under somebody tomorrow. You caused it. The fastest way to become a leader is by accepting responsibility. Love it, don't complain, sacrifice. Everything is not money. Some of you, the reason why it will be difficult to make it is because you bargain everything. Before you to sacrifice anything, you must collect money. You know that there are periods of apprenticeship. These are the period to learn. A period will come when people will pay you to render a service. You have not gotten there now. So many times now, sacrifice, volunteer. Even at my level, there are still some places I still volunteer. In your church, volunteer. If you say want to be a leader, raise up your hand. Do it. You might not be the best, but you are the available. Do you know that leaders in the world are not the best, but most times they are the one that they made themselves available. Yet other people will be envying them. So why is Samademi the best preacher? Why is Papa Oyedepo? Why is Jonathan the president? No, they made themselves available. I'm telling you. So you need to understand that who is a leader? A leader is a person who is involved in the responsibility. You can see. If you don't want to be involved in responsibility, you'll be a follower. And you will not be happy because you know inside of yourself that God has created you to be a leader, but something is stopping you, which is you. So a leader is a person who is involved in the responsibility of directing the activities of people towards the achievement of predetermined goals. A leader concentrates on providing the vision with which a giving is led into achieving agreed which is given to and is led into achieving of agreed objective. The success or failure of any leader depends on his or her leadership style. You can learn that. Leadership style, you can fail, you can learn more. Yeah, and leadership style is something you learn. You mustn't win every time, so now you fail to learn. Failure is good in leadership because failure helps you to learn. I'm telling you. But it's good you fail with a little than fail with when the big one comes. So this is the best time for you to fail in little things. Yeah, don't worry, you learn from failure. If you don't face challenge or fail, how then do you learn? Yes. Why is managers, why are they paid higher? They are paid higher because they have failed. Now they have learned not to fail. That is why many people are afraid. What if people laugh at me? What if I fail? What if I don't do it? Let people laugh at you. You are learning. Those that are laughing at you tomorrow will pay to hear you speak. That is it. If you don't make mistake, how would you learn? So it's very important. Type of leadership, we have autocratic leadership. I explained that this is a leader that gives instruction and want everybody to follow. Characteristic of an autocratic leadership: self-centeredness, task-oriented, unilateral decision. One, issue instruction, tell worker what to do and how to do it. Group members assume no responsibility for performance. We have democratic leader, decisions by group. Let's look at the characteristics of democratic leadership. Group-centered, is not dictative. It's not the democracy we have in Nigeria with Buhari. No, in Nigeria we have democracy, but a military is the one heading democracy. So you see the problem. So in Nigeria we are not practicing democracy. We are still practicing militarism or autocracy. Let's look at now. We have the free reign, also called laissez-faire. Subordinates are given maximum freedom in their job. Individual decision making, free exchange of information and personal conflict resolution. The leader has no confidence in his leadership ability. Productivity is low and is flopping. You can see moral and group work are very low. Freeing. This is when a leader have lose everything, lost everything rather. Everything is moving free. So problem of leadership in Nigeria: autocratic, breed hostility. Look at what is happening in with this COVID-19 now. Now they are blocking all the road. Why are they behaving like that? To tell you that we have wicked leaders in this country, wicked leaders. Because she said there's COVID-19. Now leaders are blocking the road because they said they don't want people from Lagos now to enter Ogun State because Lagos people have COVID-19. Now they block the toll gate and food want to go to Ogun State. They block food. How will Ogun State eat? Now it's okay. Let us allow only food to enter Ogun State. It's not human being that's carrying the food. Because we should cool down and make decisions. We shouldn't make decisions from wickedness. I know that it is important to to screen your borders, but it shouldn't be done too harsh. Because we are all human beings. So breed autocratic, impaired initiative. That is one of the things I just explained now. Focused aggressive behavior, democracy. Though breeds obedience but no loyalty. Collective responsibility, as no one claim responsibility and accountability for wrongfully doing. Free in, complete no participation of the leader in decision making. Complete no participation, non-participation. Characteristics of a good leader must be a good listener. So his follower must listen. Don't know if Buhari is listening to Nigeria, but a good leader must listen because you are leading people. A good leader must be able to motivate his subordinates. Strict but firm and fair. A good leader must be strict, but he must be fair. Must develop and encourage teamwork. A good leader must know his purpose. A good leader must be willing to accept or admit his ignorance. He said, I have just 1 minute more. Honest is required. A good leader must be naturally endowed, knowledgeable, experience, and possess exemplary words. So when we come back, we'll round up the class in our last class. We'll ask you guys to prepare for your exam. I've given you guys an assignment, and let me check. The assignment is that write on this stage of. Let me copy it. Me, please. Just give me 1 minute or two. This is your assignment. Write on this. This is your assignment. I believe you guys have written, so that you don't send me text message that or email that you have not seen the assignment. So this is the assignment. Write on each of them and submit it. I'll give you another email. Please do not forward it to anybody@yahoo.com. People have bombarded that email too much. So this is the assignment. Submit to this email, uniquefoundation@gmail.com. Submit it before the end of tomorrow, not 1 week. This is the assignment. Yomi, I'll paste it on this as a message so you can forward it to the class.
All right.
So I've sent it to you as a message, or is it maybe to everyone? I don't know if it's auto. Okay, I send it to everyone. Submit it here. You can copy and paste. So please, we'll see next. I want you guys to take your online classes serious, and I pray for you that God will protect all of you and see you through. So also try to pay up your fees so that we can prepare for your exam. God bless you all. Bye. I leave.